The Dallas leg of our flight to Gatwick was overbooked and we volunteered to stand down. We got two $400 vouchers and an overnight room at the Reno Hilton, as well as a free lunch and a dinner at which Billy, Steve and Ray joined us. On our flight to Dallas the next day, American Airlines upgraded us to first class. However, it was overcrowded on the Gatwick leg. We arrived at Gatwick around 7:30 a.m. and Len picked us up around 8 o'clock. Our luggage was still in Dallas and didn't arrive until the next day. Later in the day, Len and I went to the bookie shop. We lost £20 each, and Pat caught up on her sleep. Olive cooked us a nice steak and kidney pie for dinner, and in the evening I played Len at cribbage. He beat me in 6 straight games. "18th of March. Dry but overcast most of the day. Walked to the newsagents in the morning to get a newspaper and a gardening magazine. A lunchtime pint with Len at the Fox and Hounds and then watched horse racing on TV. Placed a bet over the phone and we each won £87 and 50p. Pat went to Croydon with Olive and Marilyn in the afternoon, had Toad in the Hole for dinner at home, and then played Len some more cribbage. Len is ahead 10 games to 7. The 19th of March. Rained off and on most of the day. Pat and I got travel passes, £5.50 each, and went to Peckham. Walked along Rye Lane to Troy Town to try and find the centre where we had our wedding reception. We couldn't find it. We had a nice lunch at the White Horse, that was in Troy Town, then caught a 12 bus to Barry Road in Dulwich. We visited with Gina and Fred Williams for 3 hours, then took the number 12 bus to Westminster, walked to Victoria, then caught the train to Bromley and bus to Biggin Hill. 20th of March, another wet day. The 4 of us went to the White Bear in Ficklesholm for lunch. Picked out our horses and watched the racing on TV. Lost £25 each. Played cribbage. Len still ahead, 11-9. "21st of March. A little bit of sun in the morning and then becoming showery. Len let us use his car for the week and we drove to 7 Lewis Gardens, Warrington, Peterborough to visit with Shirley and Ernie Flanders. Had a nice Sunday dinner with Shirley, her daughter Karen, husband Paul and baby James. Then went with Shirley to visit Ernie in hospital. He is seriously ill and has been in hospital for 5 weeks having tests. Spent about an hour with him. His spirits were very high and he and Pat enjoyed chatting about their school days together. This is where Pat and Ernie went to school. That was nearly 60 years ago. Pat left here when she was about 12 years old and went to Mary Datchelor's school. We drove back to Biggin Hill, stopping off at the Grasshopper for Mother's Day lamb roast dinner. It cost £13.95p each. Ernie died not long after our visit. 22nd of March. Mostly sunny today. Drove to Welling and had a beer in the Wellington where we called Audrey Curtin to get directions to her house. Had no problem finding 4 Dolesbury Drive. Spent the afternoon and evening talking and drinking wine. Audrey loves her wine. She is nothing like we remembered her. Much more down to earth and definitely a little heavier than when we last saw her some 40 odd years ago. Audrey fixed a curry dinner rather than go out and eat, and we spent the night there. 23rd of March. Mostly sunny with a few light showers. We left Audrey's around 10 a.m. and drove to Windsor. Had a nice afternoon visiting the castle. The staterooms are open to the public. Had an early dinner at the Carpenter's Arms in Windsor, then drove back to Biggin Hill. Played cribbage. I went ahead 12-11. The four of us then played hearts, and Lem won that game. 24th of March. A bright morning with heavy rain in the late afternoon and evening. Didn't do much in the morning. Drove to 18 Tavistock Road, Fleet, to visit with Richard Levy and his wife Diana. Had it for a while, and then the four of us went to lunch at the De Havilland Arms in Eltham Heath. Did some more after lunch and then drove back to Biggin Hill in heavy rain. Had a salad for dinner. 25th of March. Showery with a few bright spots. I went to the church commissioners to try and get some information on whether or not I was eligible for a pension. I left Biggin Hill around 9 a.m. and took a bus and train ticket that cost £8.20. Should have taken a travel pass at £5.50. I walked from Victoria to the church house where the employee records were now kept. They couldn't find any record that I'd ever worked for the commissioners, but told me to come back in an hour. I'd made use of the time by going on the London Wheel. It costs £9 and takes 35 minutes. They still couldn't find any record of my employment, and I started getting frustrated, so I asked to talk to a supervisor. His name was Tony Williams, and he worked for the Church Commissioners' Pension Board. I went over all my details with him again, and he admitted that some of the old records had not been converted to the computer, and that he would research the manual files. He promised to email me or write to me and let me know what they'd found out. As it turns out, he did that, and I found out that I was not entitled to a pension. I walked back to Victoria and caught the train and bus back to Biggin Hill. Lem was out with Jeff, so I went up to Humphrey's bookie shop on my own and lost £19. We had dinner at the house.